Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. The creative writer does the same as the child at play. He creates a world of fantasy which he takes very seriously. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. What progress we are making! In the Middle Ages they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. Poets are masters of us ordinary men, in knowledge of the mind, because they drink at dreams which we have not yet made accessible to science. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. When a love relationship is at its height there is no room left for any interest in the environment. A pair of lovers are sufficient to themselves. I had thought about cocaine in a kind of daydream. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. You wanted to kill your father in order to be your father yourself. Now you are your father, but a dead father. Conservatism, however, is too often a welcome excuse for lazy minds, loath to adapt themselves to fast-changing conditions. Smoking is indispensable if one has nothing to kiss. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same thing, and even today words retain much of their magical power. Our memory has no guarantees at all, and yet we bow more often than is objectively justified to the compulsion to believe what it says. Where such men love they have no desire, and where they desire they cannot love. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. In the depths of my heart I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. He does not believe that does not live according to his belief. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. No, our science is no illusion. But an illusion it would be to suppose that what science cannot give us we can get elsewhere. Immorality, no less than morality, has at all times found support in religion. My love is something valuable to me which I ought not to throw away without reflection. The madman is a dreamer awake. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. Everywhere I go I find a poet who has been there before me.